You guys, that's Candy Girl. That's New Edition. You know how long it took me to find the right song? I was like, okay, Candy Girl New Edition brings me way back. Now listen, you guys, don't let anyone tell you that fairy tales do not exist, because I just had a magical potion of Bixby coffee, and those magical beans just brought me back to life. Hey, right? So let me ask you guys a question. What if you could learn a sales and marketing technique that worked just like magic? And what if you could learn magic words and hypnotic language patterns that made it so easy for you to go ahead and close sales just like that? Would you be interested?
Yes.
Yes. Heck yeah. You guys, seriously, I'm from San Diego. It's like 5 a.m. my time right now, so I'm going to need some energy up here. Cool? All right, good. Sweet. All right, you guys. So, how many of you guys are interested in learning how to motivate the masses? Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Okay, now, when it comes to captivating on command, it's really about listening to your audience. And it's about knowing what makes you top of mind and tip of tongue. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to ask people, how many of you guys have kids? Anyone have kids? Yes. I have one, and she, just a few months ago, was a three-nager. Now, she's a four-nado. Four-nado. And just like a tornado, she is unpredictable, okay? Just last week, I buckled her up in her seat, in her little car seat, buckled her up, and she said, "Mama, can you give me that ring?" And I was like, excuse me, say please, right? She's like, why? Why should I say please? I said, because when you use the magic words, people are more likely to listen to what you have to say. So what does this little girl do? Daddy comes over to the passenger side, and she goes, "Daddy, can we get some donuts today? Please." Tornado touches down, and who's dealing with the meltdown? Mama. And it's so funny to me. Where do I point? Over there? Oh, sorry, that was the laser pointer. And the funny thing is that donuts and I have a really funny story. I was actually really happy that there weren't any donuts over here. I was like, yes, it's like nutrition. It's like fresh fruit, all of that wonderful stuff. And the reason for that is because I actually once had a competitor try to win a client for me with donuts. It was her birthday. And they're like, you know what? We're going to give you these gourmet donuts from the donut shop. And in San Diego, they have like the cake batter donuts, the donuts with the bacon, all of that wonderful stuff. And when it arrived in the office, everyone was raving about it. And I was like, oh man, you know what I got her for her birthday? Do you know what I got her for her birthday? I got her an Instant Pot. Do you guys know what that is? Yes. Okay, there are some fans in here, right? If you don't know what an Instant Pot is basically like if a steamer and a pressure cooker had a baby, right? This thing is brilliant. And as a working mom, it's absolutely amazing because I could go ahead and I can make paella in 5 minutes. Done. No mom guilt whatsoever. So when they had these craveable donuts and they were all loving it, I was like, man, I don't even know how she's going to deal with this Instant Pot. But she loved it. She absolutely loved it. I hit the jackpot. And the reason for that was because my client was really, really interested in how to make healthy soul food for her family. Something that brings every single person to the table, makes them feel as if they belong. And because this was a gift that keeps on giving, right? We always had stories to share. We could share recipes. Take that, donut shop. Instant Pot for life, right? And I was like, look at this community. We are now a part of this community. I'm sorry, you gotta raise your hand. Who has an Instant Pot? Thank you. We're all sharing recipes at this point, right? And the reason why I share that story with you guys, is because it's really important for you to be soul food. Not eye candy, but soul food, right? Whether that's your collard greens, whether, for me, that's like lumpia. I'm Filipino. Like lumpia and pancit, like that's my favorite food. But you probably have a comfort food that when you put it on the table, everyone comes to the table and they want a second helping of it. Now, in the agency world, there is a lot of eye candy out there. Am I right or am I right? There's a lot of eye candy there. There's someone that wants to come over there and they want to undercut you because they have a better price. Or they're doing this new thing and it's going to change the world and it's going to replace email. In the agency world, we have to work really hard in terms of speaking with influence and with impact, because that's what's going to open hearts and that's what's going to open minds. Now, some of you guys don't know this. You might know me from Lights, Camera, Live. You might also know me as Mike Alton's biggest fan. Mike Alton, please stand up. And the funny thing is that most people don't know that I actually pitch agencies, or actually I consult agencies on how to win more pitches. Because if you think about it, communication skills is one of the most in-demand skill sets that are out there. 2 out of 3 employers find this to be one of the most important soft skills, and yet 44% of senior executives feel as if their employees don't have that soft skill. Just imagine this. A business that has on average about 100 employees spend an average of 17 hours downtime just clarifying communications. What can you do with that time? Build relationships, close more deals. So today I'm actually going to give you a crash course on how to captivate on command. You good? Awesome. So one of the things that we teach people is called representational systems. This is something that is actually taught by Dr. Richard Bandler and John Grinder in neurolinguistic programming. And it's the sense that when we think about our memories, or even the last conversations that we have, we think about it in terms of our 5 senses. So if I tell you about my last vacation, the things that I remember about it is I remember seeing the ocean waves. I remember hearing the waves crashing on the sand. I remember feeling the hot sand underneath my toes. Everything else, I don't remember. I remember it through my senses. And the reason why that's important is because that's how we generally communicate. Sometimes you come across a person who only speaks to you in visual words. Does that remind you of any of your clients? Here's the big picture. I just want the highlights. Give me the highlight reel. And you're like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. Sometimes it feels as if you're actually speaking different languages. So today, yes, you'll get a crash course on how to captivate on command, but I'm going to teach you 4 different languages. And it's going to feel really interesting. So the first one, man, that laser pointer has got me like, woo. The first one is visual. Let me explain visual people to you. I'm very visual. This whole dress was like, I'm going to do this whole visual thing. Visual people like to speak really, really fast. They talk about things in pictures. They talk about illustrating. Ways that you could captivate that person is by showing them flywheels, diagrams, blueprints. That is what captures their attention. If you could paint your pictures with your words, that's how you're going to go ahead and captivate them. Start thinking about your proposals, how you sell your clients. Are you speaking their language or are you only speaking your language? Now, visual people are really funny. I'm guilty of this all the time. Ideas always come to my head like a mile a minute. And I don't always finish a sentence because a new idea comes in. That doesn't mean that I'm not listening. It's more or less of, if you're speaking to me, I'm coming up with new ideas on the very spot. And I speak so fast because I gotta let it out. In fact, there are a lot of times whenever I'm talking to Mike Alton, I don't even type it out. I send him a voice message. I'm like, yo, I got an idea for a blog post, boom, 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 boom. And he's like, okay, I'll put it in Evernote, but god dang, girl, what the heck? what is going on, right? Now your auditory person, which is very much Mike Alton, they like to listen very closely to the words that you're saying. And sometimes when they speak to you, they might actually even turn their body and lean in with their good ear to hear what it is exactly that you have to say. Words that captivate the auditory person is, does this ring a bell? Does this sound clear to you, right? And they get distracted by noises because they really, really want to listen to you. Does that sound like anyone you know? Anyone at all? Now the next one is going to be your kinesthetic audience. This one always trips me up because these are your feelers, right? They're like, I can't wrap my head around this. I don't have a firm grasp on this. I'm like, what are you talking about? The data's right there. Look at it. It makes a lot of sense. Like, it doesn't feel right. What do feelings have to do with this? Right? Feelings, kinesthetic people, they're the type of person where they speak kind of slowly because they're trying to get a feeling in their body of, all right, does this feel good? Am I comfortable? Do I want to move forward? So again, when you're pitching your clients, start reading them. This is how you could read their body language. Now, the last one is the digital audience. I fall on this as well. Your digital people are most likely the people that talk to themselves in their head, and they're very logical. This data doesn't make any sense. How are we going to make this happen? It needs to follow a process and a system. And so when you're pitching them, show them the big picture, but show them step by step how you're going to make their brand go from unknown to unfreaking forgettable. That's how you convince them. And so what I want to do for you guys today is I want you to take a moment to practice this skill set because this is probably something that you've never actually done before. But I want you to take a moment to just look at someone real quick, right? Like, I choose you. Like Pokemon, I choose you. And what we're gonna do, hopefully you've already taken a picture of this, if not, I'll move back. But I want you to turn to the next person. I want you to say, tell me about your last vacation. And listen very closely. Can you guess what their representational system is? And I'm gonna give you literally like 3 minutes, so don't be shy, okay? All right, so you got 3 minutes. Ready, set, go! All right. Okay, ready, time. Time. I don't have a bell, so that's just gonna have to work. How was that? Did you guys see that? Okay, it was funny. I was literally watching you guys, and the auditory people, I'm picking on you, they would shift, and he would listen. Got it. The visual people, oh, you know we're the visual people because we was hella loud. I saw hands moving like, oh, we did this, and then someone was talking with the Tootsie Pop, and like, we did this, and no, you know. They was telling you like, what was up, right? The kinesthetic people were like, my last vacation was amazing, right? You can feel it. And it's so energetic. And now when you did that exercise, you most likely did it in your preferred representational system. So if you're visual, you spoke in visual. If you're auditory, you spoke in auditory, and so on and so forth. Now, I want you to try to switch it up, okay? So the auditory people that like to listen, try to be visual. Try that. Switch it up. So we'll do this, 3 minutes, one more time. It's gonna feel a little funny, you know, but exercise that muscle, right? Because you're not always gonna do business with people that are exactly like you, right? You gotta give everyone a seat at the table. You gotta be craveable. All right, so 3 minutes. Ready, set, go. Are all the auditory people over there? Then all the visual people are over here? Is that what's happening? All right, cool. You guys are amazing. The auditory people are so happy right now because they're like, that was so damn loud. It was really fun watching you guys because literally you could walk across the room and you can know who your visual people, your auditory, your kinesthetic. The auditory digital people you might not get sometimes because they're literally sitting there thinking, well, which vacation was the best? That one was more affordable. We got to do, they're thinking of the itinerary, right? Because that's how the digitals think. And it was funny because I asked you to switch it up and do the other representational system. I didn't say to throw stuff. Was that you? Were you juggling? Somebody was juggling. Someone was juggling. Chris was just flying in the air. But it's amazing. And the reason why I share this with you guys is because in the agency world, sometimes when you're pitching a client, you have different personalities in every single one of those rooms, right? And you have to be able to connect with each and every single one of them. So in the agency world, in our teams, we would instantly call them out. We would have these little hand signals. I'm like, you know what, he's auditory over there. You might want to switch it up a bit. Oh, he's digital. You might want to show how this makes sense. And it's very, very logical, right? And then we're like, oh, feelings. It was actually really quite funny to see some people tap into their feelings, especially the men, sorry you guys, but they're like, my heart. It's funny too because I ask my husband, sometimes I could be very kinesthetic. Your representational systems, they could switch up. I know by default I am hella visual because I speak really fast. But there are times where I feel very kinesthetic. My husband is a very strong digital. So when I say, husband, what do you feel like doing this weekend? Girl, what? How do I feel? No, how long is it going to take us to get there? Is the girl going to take a nap? He's thinking logically, right? So that's something to be mindful of. And when you're here, you guys, I want you to be mindful of what other people's representational systems are. Experiment a little bit because you are in a low-stakes environment where you're going to be learning a lot. You're going to be learning about storytelling, communication skills, all of that stuff. And this is a low-stakes environment for you to actually go ahead and practice. Practice. Now, you might also be wondering, well, how do I actually make this work? Well, you could do some conversation starters. Jessica was absolutely amazing, the little handout of what questions you can ask. These are other things that you can ask to start to hear and listen from your audience, your clients, your customers, what their representational systems are. So for me, I like to ask people working on any projects recently, and you could see if they get really excited, right? What was the highlight of your day? I tried to ask this to my husband, again, who's digital, and he's like, highlights? No, I did what I had to do, and I checked it off. I was like, digital? Give me some. Makes me laugh. What do you do to unwind? I like to ask a lot of open-ended questions, and I like to listen. And don't think that this only has to be in person. I've actually done this in email. I've had someone ask me, hey, Stephanie, I'm really interested in your course, but I don't know if it's the right time for me. I feel like I'm juggling a lot of things. And I was like, oh, you're kinesthetic. Well, listen, if you join the program, you're going to feel very supported because we have a tight-knit community where we're going to go ahead and support you and uplift you. And she's like, oh, done and done. Here's my check. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. And it works. Other things that I want to test you out on is, here's an actual call that I had with a client not so long ago. And he goes, Steph, I hear you're the best in town, so listen. Our offices have been really, really quiet lately. The phones aren't ringing off the hook. What can you do? What is that representational system? Auditory, absolutely. So how do I speak to him in a way that is his same exact language and captivate his attention? Simple. All right, cool, George. Who's eating? It sounds like you're tired of being the best kept secret in town. What we need to do with our social media strategy is get you above the noise. So that way people are buzzing about you before your event even happens. For the auditory people, did that sound good? Yeah, rings a bell. Now, here's another one. Try to guess this one. This actually happened 2 weeks ago. These are real examples. An old client of mine, Stephanie, my agency is out of touch. I can never get a hold of them. It just doesn't feel right, and I can't quite put my finger on it. What's that one? Kinesthetic. This is a hard one for me. I have to practice on this one a lot. So I said, you know what? I know that feeling. You want someone to turn to and to lean on. You want to feel as if you actually have someone's brain on speed dial, so when you need them, you can call them. And it doesn't feel nice when you feel like you have to jump over hoops just to get a question answered. How does that feel? Comforting, right? You could see the nods in the room, like, I feel better. So as you go about today, listen to those different representational systems. And the other thing is this, is that when you're pitching clients, when you're even speaking on stage, if you're doing a live video or a regular video, you have to mix it up. Keep in mind of your visual, your auditory, your kinesthetic, and your digital people, and go from there. Because when you understand representational systems, it unlocks a lot of information about that person that you're trying to build a relationship with, so that you can become that soul food that they keep coming back to, that they want seconds because they feel as if they belong. And when you understand representational systems for other people, it opens windows of opportunities. Representational systems help you get audiences to stop, look, and listen to what you have to say. And I laughed because I really wanted to say taste at the same time. But honestly, when you do this, you can motivate the masses one stage at a time, one person at a time, and one heart at a time. So today, spend your time listening to one another, listening to each other in your emails, your fans, turn them into your followers into fans, right? Do that. And for those of you that have a Tootsie Pop, does everyone have a Tootsie Pop? Yeah? Thank you, Mike Alton. We have this inside joke. We hand out Tootsie Pops because we don't want your presentations to suck. So we send you a Tootsie Pop. All right, you guys. So here are the sensory keywords. Take a screenshot of this. And as you move about today, start writing those keywords. There might be new things that you might come across. Like for me as a visual, I like it when someone tells me, shine in the spotlight, steal the spotlight, illuminate, light the way. Auditory people, listen, hear, harmony. I usually like to tell clients, let's go ahead and make that cash register ring. Ring. And they get really happy with that. Kinesthetic, feel, wrap your head around, a firm grasp on what's happening. Your digital people, straight, logical, makes sense, common sense, all of that good stuff. All right, you guys, I'm Stephanie Liu, and I want you to be craveable, and I want you to be the soul food for your clients. Thank you.